Hey, how you doing? I'm playing that game of, am I going to be able to get to this talk before my baby wakes up? Let's just see, shall we? Let's just see. I've got an important question for you today, and one that I would love you to spend some time with, which is, how much would it cost me or someone or a brand or a company? How much would it cost me to have an hour of your time? An hour of your time where you are sharing your expertise, your experience, your impact, you being you and doing brilliant things. And the reason being is there is a huge market at the moment and a huge curiosity for learning, for development, but also for that face-to-face feeling in the room. And sometimes that is a Zoom room, but sometimes it can be in a real life environment. And when I first started going to self-development seminars, everybody looked the same. Whether they were a man or a woman, they all had those really awful shiny suits with a shiny tie and a shiny shirt, shiny shoes. And yeah, it was, and you got the plastic paper cups, the plastic cups, or just everything smelt a bit stale. You know that feeling when everybody's been in a conference room and it's all a bit halitosis and old coffee and everybody's trying to leave and go because they can't bear it any longer. There was definitely that flavour. And now it's not that. Now there are so many opportunities and different ways to share what it is that you do. And when I look at the amount of different things that I've done over the years, me, myself as the customer, and the talks that I've gone to or the experiences that I've paid for, they're really, really varied. And so whether or not you see yourself as an expert or a guest speaker or anything like that, for a moment, I would love you just to play along and think, actually, if you are running your personal brand, if you do have information to share, is there a format? And you don't have to do anything now. This is just about thinking about it and letting the ideas kind of start to bubble away. What would you charge somebody? Because at this stage, it could be that people are looking for you. And over the years, and I've been running my own gig 20 odd years, however comprehensive I feel like I am on my website, I always get different requests. And what I mean by that is somebody might say, I heard you on a podcast and you said this one sentence which really resonated with me. Can you do a workshop around this one particular thing? Or I noticed that you were having a conversation with a friend of a friend and we feel like you might have something useful to contribute. And that happens all of the time. And when you're least expecting it, and from different places and sources and situations. And so what I want to really share and urge you to look at is actually what you would charge. How would you do things in a way that really suits you? You being in control in your expertise, you want to be able to lead this and to guide this and to be able to have a proper conversation about it where you know what you're saying is going to really create an impact. So if you have a brand, if you have figured out a process, if you have been able to pull from your experience or your behind the scenes, what would you charge to share that, to put yourself out there in that regard? Because I often say it in terms of speaking gigs and things that I've done previously, is that I have sometimes been booked for something and I've been in a room and there might be 100 people, none of which I know. And that is such a golden place to be, because potentially you're opening yourself up to brand new people who can discover you and your work, and that you can really support and create an impact with. So that's my question for you today. First and foremost, what would you charge? What is an hour of your time worth? And you might have a bit of a sliding scale depending on what it is. For example, if you're speaking to a charity, or if you're, for example, I was booked for something the other day and there isn't a budget, but equally they're not selling tickets. It's a free event. So instead, I've been able to talk through it and be able to do more of a question and answer session, rather than me spending all that time doing a deck and things like that. But equally, you can earn 3 figures, 4 figures for an hour's work. And it's definitely something worth exploring. It's definitely an hour of your time that potentially could be very lucrative, but also can give you, I mean, there's nothing more that I could say about this because it's just so good. There's so many different things. There's nothing like getting in a room with people, and whether that's a Zoom room, whether that's in person, whether that's in a small group, but to really feel what is going on for people, it will give you so many clues and indications about what's actually going on in the world. I think sometimes what can happen is, I know as an actor, when I was first starting out, I would go to loads of industry talks. And sometimes people would end the talk or halfway through and sort of go, well, I'm not really sure what's happening now, because I haven't actually done it for 5 years, or, I gave up a long time ago, or I'm not really in the office anymore, or I'm not doing the castings. And those were the people that I wanted to learn from, because I wanted to know what they experienced. What was that feeling? What was that energy? What were those almost hidden parts that you couldn't articulate in an article? And next, I want you to think about what that structure would actually look like. How can you set yourself up for success in a way that you're going to feel really good as well? So maybe speaking for an hour with a big clunky keynote might not be your vibe. But how could you make that work for you? And remember, this is about you leading and you setting yourself up as the expert. I often say this about internships. So some of the speaking gigs or press opportunities, I have first and foremost probably, and definitely in some cases, been approached by an assistant or by an intern. And maybe their person that they check in has said, go and find me people who talk about personal branding, or go and find people that talk about goal setting or portfolio careers. Go and find those people and bring back a selection. This intern who has just come out of uni perhaps, or they're 16 and on work experience, maybe they're unaware of personal brands or goal setting. And so what they're really looking for in this conversation is that assurance from the expert that they're going to be really great for the job and really create an impact, but they're going to be able to talk about what it is. So, for example, if I am doing a house project and I need somebody who is going to come and install a fireplace, for example, yes, I might have some pretty pictures that I've saved from Pinterest, and yes, I might know the era or the kind of feel or how I want the aesthetic to look, but in terms of and I was going to say in terms of plumbing that in, it's actually not what I mean. There's probably a much more technical term for that. But if I'm asking somebody to install a fire, I want them to be able to say what I need, what will be safe, first and foremost, what they would recommend, what they wouldn't, what I need to take into consideration, and really lead from that point of view. So what I see so often is if people are approached going, can you come and talk about this? Or, we'd love to get you in some capacity. What they tend to do is shrink. Whoa, sorry, my phone's going loopy. What they tend to do in that instance is shrink back and go, oh, well, I don't know, or I've never really done this before, or I'll just come in for free. Like, honestly, it'd be my pleasure. I'm here to tell you that people pay big money for you to go in and share your expertise. So even if you've never thought about it before, even though it might feel you bit uncomfortable talking about money or things like that, start somewhere. Start with expenses. Start thinking about what you could or would talk about. Certainly in terms of marketing, so many things are changing. There are influencers, there are personal brands. Your founder story is so important. So who you are as a person can really be wonderful in terms of growing your business. I know social media, I know online is brilliant as well, but sometimes people just need to hear from you. They almost need to see you pop out from behind the content and show up as you. If any of that has sparked, do go over first and foremost to the freebie section of my website. There is a masterclass all about getting started in speaking. Secondly, if you are really serious about going, oh, actually, I think I need to do this. I've maybe been putting it off for a while and maybe I've been a bit scared. Maybe I need a bit of guidance. Speak Up is going to be for you. Speak Up is a framework of how you start speaking. We go into everything from your content to building your portfolio to reaching out to people to negotiating to payment to terms and conditions to who owns your material, etc. You also have 4 payment options within that. You also have a 45-minute session with me, and you also have some lovely cheeky little bonuses until the end of November. So if you go over to nikkieraby.com/offers, you will find the cheeky bonuses there for the Speak Up program. But there are lots of questions in this, and I would love you to think about it, because when I look back over 2020, 2021, my speaking portion, I guess, of my income and my week and my schedule, it's probably not changed that much, but it's looked quite different. So before, I would tend to do everything face-to-face in big theatres or stages or conference rooms. And that obviously declined slightly because, well, very much actually, during the pandemic. But then there is this sense of workshops, or I've been interviewed for things, or I've done online series for people. I've joined as a guest expert. I've done podcast interviews, and they have all been really invaluable at growing my business. So as I say, firstly, go over to the freebies section, nikkieraby.com/freebies. And then if you are ready or you want to talk to me about Speak Up, go to nikkieraby.com/offers. My emails are always open. Let's set up a free 15-minute call. You can ask me what might work best, because maybe you just need a bit of support. Maybe you just need a quick one-off session. Absolutely fine. But yeah, ask me all the questions. My email is hello@nikkieraby.com. Right, I'm going to leave it there and leave you with those questions. Thanks for watching, for listening, as always, and I'm sending lots of love.